So this is one of those rare times where I'm gonna put my face back on camera for a minute to just quickly and briefly talk about something. Recently, yesterday for me, I had the pleasure of sitting down with a man who was my pastor at a time where I was really wronged by friends turning their backs on me while somebody was spreading horrible rumors about me that caused my eventual leaving a church and putting in my notice and leaving early. It was a whole thing. But I had the pleasure of sitting down with that man and forgiving him, letting him know he was forgiven, and just us reconciling. And it was really great. And I'm reminded of a teaching of Jesus's when he's talking about going to leave your gifts at the altar. And he says, before doing that to God, run quickly and be reconciled to the one that you're strained with. And I'm butchering that verse slightly, but you can go look that up. And the basic thing I bring that up for is recently someone very close to me did some very awful things, and I found out that they were not who they were claiming to be. And while hearing that person talk about the sin that they're in and talking about their future going forward with God, I had to stop and slam the brakes on in that conversation to inform them there is no you in God. You've chosen this really horrific thing that you're doing to go and do something other than follow God. See, a lot of people get strained from the loved ones around them, friends, family, church members. There's strains and their divides put in the relationship. And instead of those people trying to seek resolution and trying to resolve past conflicts and hurts, those people will often say, well, this is between God and I, and God and I are good. Go and be reconciled to those people. Like, you have no idea, some of you have no idea who are Christians, how hurtful it is to your own walk with God to not let things go with people. This pastor is a man that I had forgiven years ago when this thing happened for things that weren't even fully his fault. But I recognized when reconnecting last year with a very good friend of mine from that time period that I should sit down and I should let these people know that they're forgiven, the ones that I have access to. And so that pastor and I are on very good terms now. Like, I have my home church, but I'll be occasionally visiting his church again just to connect with people, just because, like, I can resolve things with people even when I've been wrong, because God has forgiven me even in the depth of my sins. And I just wanted to share that with you today. If you have any conflict that needs resolving with people where it's safe to do so, go and make reconciliations with people. You don't have anything to lose. You're gaining a greater sense of being able to follow God and understanding his forgiveness for you when you can forgive others and look them in the eyes and say you're forgiven, even when you're not fully sure if that person's going to say the same things to you for your mistakes. And before I end this little video here, that's not a podcast episode, I just wanted to tag on to the back end of what I just said. In John's gospel, after Jesus has been raised from the dead and Mary goes to the tomb, and Peter and John have ran back to the others, and Mary's still there, and Jesus appears behind her and she thinks he's the gardener. When she recognizes that it's Jesus, she turns around and she says, Rabboni, teacher. And she embraces him. She attempts to embrace him. Like, that's the desperation we should have to be back in the arms of Jesus when we're holding, like, grudges. Like, at the very beginning of my experience with what happened at this church, I held some grudges and it took me a while to work through it. And like, that really, it does something to you to block you from Jesus. Not because he's denying you necessarily, but you kind of like deny yourself too from him at that point. And yeah, he wants you to be reconciled, so there's no way to come back to him without the conviction to go back to those people. And so I just wanted to say, like, have that desperation to turn around and be embraced with Jesus again, with these people that you're in the body with. And to the unbeliever watching this, like, This is truly the power of the Holy Spirit. Like, to be wronged by people in such a manner, but to be able to forgive them, not because they deserve it, but just because you've been so embraced and forgiven by Jesus, puts perspective what sin really is and our failure to be in relation with God because of what sin nature has done to humanity. So no matter how badly somebody's ever wronged you, and you sense that urge to not forgive them and how hard it is to forgive them, yet God so faithfully loved us that he sent his only son to die on a cross for us.